Now it's time to head to Newcastle, and our next guest, pretty happy with the improved form of his beloved Newcastle Knights in the NRL. They play the Panthers today, and I am going to start the conversation with trainer Kris Lees on rugby league because they're giving you a little bit of a reason to dream, I think, early on. I like the look of them, Kris.
Yeah, they're playing well, Tim, aren't they? They're having a go, and I think anyone from Newcastle, that's all we want and hope for, and they're certainly doing that.
Sorry, Kris, you thought you were coming here to talk racing, but we thought we'd just talk to you about league instead.
We cover all bases here.
Exactly. We tick everything off. Look, it has been a big autumn campaign. Let's talk first of all about peer pressure. Third in the Group 1 size on the opening day of the championships, running in the Champagne Stakes today. How did she pull up and how's she going to fare with that extra 200?
Yeah, look, she come through the run really well. She'd had a freshen up coming into this preparation with one lead-up run into the size. She went to the post at 150 to 1, so she certainly surprised a few. But around the stable, we thought she just had a sneaky chance, and she ran up to our expectations, or probably exceeded them in some ways. And we're comfortable now trying her again in similar company up another 200 metres. Ideally, she's come up with a nice gate, which I think's important for her. She'll get a nice run just behind the speed. Whether she can finish in front of them two big colts who beat her home the other day in the size, we'll see. But heavy track, it makes it just a little bit of a lottery effect, and I think she'll run well again.
I know you do that trip Newcastle to Sydney often, and sometimes it's a little bit miserable driving home. Last Saturday, you couldn't have been happier, could you? What a cracker. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're very pleased. Obviously, the Provincial Championships, a race that we try and target every year, and we've had good representation most years, and to win it again was certainly very pleasing with Spangler beating the stablemate Lock Eagle. Albeit we probably went into the race, our best chance we thought going into the race was scratch the morning of the race, so that's the highs and lows of racing. But Spangler was very strong. He put a real gap in them at the finish, and it was pleasing to see. And we were lucky enough to win another stakes race earlier in the day with Rosita for some long-time clients in Bob and Sue Hannon. So all round, it was a great day.
It was also a great day for your star apprentice jockey, Dylan Gibbons. Now, he secured his first Group 1 win last week, winning the Sydney Cup. A huge achievement for a 21-year-old apprentice. It must be just such a thrill to see these young apprentices like this go on, do well. We've seen Tyler Schiller earlier in the campaign, in the carnival as well. The hard work they put in, it just must be so thrilling to see them rewarded.
Yeah, well, I got a bigger kick out of that than the two winners the stable had. One of them, Dylan, was on, but see him win a Sydney Cup, to win a Group 1 so early in his career. He's got such a bright future. He's well on his way now. He's established himself as one of the top jockeys in Sydney, not just an apprentice, and the world's his oyster. And we're very, very proud of what he's achieved in a short time, and he's a pleasure to have around our stable. He's such a level-headed young man, and as I said, he's got a lot more to come.
They can get sledged a bit at times, particularly from unhappy punters, jockeys. But when you think about it, you think of these young guys coming to stables like yours and others, Mark Newnham and many others, and they are just young men, and they have to grow up quick, don't they? They have to grow up quick, and they have to be very disciplined in the way that they live because of all of the restrictions that are placed on them to be a jockey.
Very much so, and you look at Dylan, he's quite tall. For a jockey, he's very tall. Remember when he first started, we thought he'd have a very limited time in the saddle, but his weight's really stabilised, and that's through hard work and dedication, and he hasn't changed much his body shape, which has been a huge advantage for him, but it's also contributed by such dedication that he's put in. So, you know, they miss a few things on the way, but they make up for it in other areas, certainly with a nice payday last Saturday.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Performances like this, I mean, they're riding against the best jockeys. We have some of the best jockeys right here in the world. What is this saying about the quality of the future of these jockeys here in New South Wales particularly?
Yeah, especially. Like, we've got these 4 young apprentices coming through, and I'm sure there's a few more in the bush ready to make their mark in Sydney. But you need them young fellas coming through. It's it's a demanding game, but we're very fortunate, as you said. We've got some of the best top jockeys throughout the world are all based here in Sydney and Melbourne, but we're very fortunate, and I think there's a really good breed of young men coming through.
Well, I know you've got to jump in the car and come down the freeway, and I just have to start with rugby league and finish. Will you listen or watch the game? Will you get the chance today on a Saturday?
Yeah, I'll have the iPad in the back of the car, Tim. It's 5:30 kickoff, so I'm in the last race at 5:10, so a couple little beers on the side and the iPad, and I'll be right.
Who's driving?
And he'll have, he won't be. And he'll have KO on as well. I wish him well. I hope they get the chocolate.
And the steering wheel. Yeah.
Just to be clear, Kris Lees will not be driving home this afternoon.
I will be in the back of the car, I promise you.
He did say the back of the car, Jules. So it's not since Police Academy we've seen someone drive a car from the back. Light hour. Good on you, Kris.
Kris, so good to see you.